Hello and welcome to the Threadless case study webinar that we're going to be talking about today. So, just going to tell you a little bit about me first. My name's Catherine Salt and I'm a marketing consultant. I specialise in social media and training. If you'd like to know a little bit more about me, you can check out my blog at www.marketingmy.co.uk. You can look at my Facebook page, which has loads of useful industry hints and tips and articles at www.facebook.com/marketingmy, and you can also follow me on Twitter at www.twitter.com/marketmy. So I'm going to talk a little bit now about what we're going to be covering, what the criteria is for when we look at this social media case study. Now, the basics of what we're looking at is, is it clear from what we're looking at what the business does? Are the objectives clear of what it's trying to achieve? How well is it integrated with the other marketing platforms and other social media platforms it's using? The look and feel. This is really about the personality of the brand and how is that expressed through the design and the text and the copy that they use. Have they also made it very easy to navigate around? Is it easy to go from page to page without losing your place? Also, really importantly, and a lot of people forget this, is are there clear calls to actions? Are you told to like it, click it, call, visit? And do these calls to actions, do they meet the objectives of the page? And finally, and I think this is the most important thing, is how well does the page interact with fans? How does it invite that interaction? And how much engagement does it actually get? So let's start off with looking at the Facebook page. So we're just loading that through now. And so let me tell you a little bit about Threadless. Threadless is a community-centered retailer. It's a business that started in the year 2000 by a couple of guys, and they won $1,000 in a t-shirt design competition. And what I'll do is I'm going to include an article about the company in the recording email, so you have a bit more of an overview. It's a really interesting business model that they've used. Threadless primarily sells t-shirts and hoodies, and what makes their business unique is that the designs are submitted by and voted on by their community. Once a t-shirt or a design is picked as a winner, the designer receives $2,000 in cash, $500 in Threadless gift vouchers, which could also be redeemed for $200 in cash, and then a further $500 every time that their design's reprinted. So here we are looking at the Threadless homepage. And what they've done is they've taken us straight to the wall. And as you can see, scrolling down, it's a really active wall. There's constantly being updated. But the majority of these updates are from the fans and people promoting their t-shirt designs. And just scrolling down here, you can see Threadless here have tried to engage some interaction by asking about the style of girly t-shirts that they do and what's the most popular. And above that you can also see there's a query about customer service, and Threadless has directed the query onto their email address. Now I think the one thing you can't really do on Facebook very well is customer service, because there's no, unlike Twitter, there's no private direct messaging. So you have to take it off this platform and put it either by email, phone, or even on Twitter, but obviously on Twitter you're limited with the number of characters that you can use. So scooching back up to the top, we can see that the images at the top here are some of the t-shirt designs for this month. And when you click on that image, you can see in the comments a link to the design on the Threadless website, the name of the design, and the name of the designer. So let's just close that down. Oops. And then we're going to move now. So if you look at the profile image, what they do is they keep it constantly changing. They use one of their t-shirt designs of that period. And you can see from the profile image it's about t-shirts. But there's not a great deal more information about it. There's not a lot of information here on the sort of ethos behind Threadless. So if we go to the information page, they put it quite nicely here when they sort of say it's a community-based company that prints awesome designs and created and chosen by you. And that's a really succinct description of what they do. One of the things I think this page is missing is sort of some important contact details. There's no link to the customer service email. There's no links to the Twitter accounts or the blogs. So what we're going to do now is going to go through and have a look at the Threadless website. So looking at the Threadless website, if we look at the top right hand corner, you see this groovy little Facebook icon. Now this is what they call Facebook Connect, and it means you can securely log in to this website using your Facebook login. And once you do that, you'll get asked, let me click and see if this is going to work for us. Yes. You'll get asked if you grant permission that Threadless can send you emails or post information, notes, photos, etc. onto your wall. Now this is a great way for businesses to sort of spread the word about what they're doing, because they can post on my wall, which means all of my friends see what's been going on. If you want to find the other social media platforms that they're looking at, you have to scroll a bit further down. Quite a bit further down, to be honest. But you see here they've got links to Twitter, there's another link to their Facebook page, Flickr, which is the photo sharing site, and Vimeo, which is a video site. Now, I think it's quite a difficult decision to decide where to put your social media buttons. They say that most people don't scroll down on a page. So the most important part of your website is what's above that fold. So it brings up the question, are the links to your social media more important than what's on this top bit above the fold? So let's go and have a little look now at their Twitter account. Right, here we go. Now, this Twitter stream shows that the products is a showcase not only for the products but also the culture of the business. It's really active. You know, they're doing between 5 and 10 tweets a day. But looking down, there's not a huge amount of interaction from the followers. And that's quite surprising because they have over 1,600,000 followers. They're doing really well. But I'm not quite sure why people aren't posting on their wall more or on their feed. But what they have done, which is really interesting, is they've actually separated out their customer service to another Twitter address called @threadhelp. So we're going to have a little look at that and see the difference in the activity that we find there. There we go. Now, you can see here that they've not got a huge amount of followers. They've got under 500. So it doesn't look overly impressive, but looking actually at the quality of the tweets and the interaction they're getting, it's clear that they are using this really effectively for customer service. And what they also have, which is useful, is they have the email address there for people who want to probably explain their case maybe in more than 140 characters. Now, it's not really surprising that they don't have a great deal of followers. I think once you've been on there, you've interacted and you've had a solution to your problem, there's no real benefit to following it. The more interesting stuff happens on the actual main Threadless account. So we're going to scooch back now and have a look at their little Vimeo site. Now, video is really important to Threadless. They have on here, they have 391 videos, and I think I'm going to just watch this little, I think Look at this one. Now what they've done here is they've actually done a little video about umbrellas, and it's quite funny. I'm not... There we go. And it basically...
Hey everybody, Charles Festa here from Threadless.com. I want to talk to you today about umbrellas.
And what they do is they can actually do a little video and they show you all the benefits of their umbrellas in comparison to alternatives. And it's just quite a nice, fun way of showing product benefits. It's a little bit quirky. Now back to the main website, we're going to have a look now because they've got a blog. I'm always raving about the benefits of blogs for businesses, especially if you want to get traffic to your website. So they've got a new post up here where they've got themselves one of these silver bullet trailers, as branded silver bullet trailers, which is really cool, which is like their little conference centre for when they're on the move, which is brilliant. That's not been up long. That's only been up a few minutes, and that's already got 4 comments. But what I like is the one next down. They've used video again to promote this competition that they're running. They are looking to have someone in the community design a new iconic character that they're going to put on a t-shirt, and they're actually going to make a life-size costume. And they've used this video of members of the team basically dressed up as pints of milk, running at each other and being daft. And we've got here, you've got 27 comments, and I think anyone who has a blog knows how important comments are. It really shows that people are engaging with you, they're listening to what you're saying, and they're actually involved. Interestingly enough, though, you don't see that same sort of level of interaction on the tweet, dig, or like. So I'm not sure whether it's just, the design that is aspect that people are most interested in. And in looking at the comments as well, you'll see that they're pretty much all from fans. They're all really positive, but interesting enough, there doesn't seem to be any feedback from Threadless itself. By not having that, building that conversation, they could be missing out. They could actually have even better engagement if they tried that. Now, what they also have, now this is the first time we've seen this on any of the pages, any of the sites we've looked at, is they actually have a forum. Now, this really does show the strength of the community. Now, a forum is a public place where members of a group can interact with each other and talk about interesting points. They're not as popular as they used to be. I mean, these things predate Facebook, they predate MySpace. And because of these new platforms, and the fact also that they take a lot of resource, they take a lot of resource to administer, they take a lot of resource to moderate, that they've gone out. But this is a really well organised forum. It's really clean and easy to use. And people can go in there and they can add critiques, they can put their designs up, they can ask for opinions before they actually submit their designs. And each individual actually has their own profile, which tells you how involved they are, a little bit of information about them, and the sort of average score that he actually gives to designs. So we're going to go now back to the main Facebook page. Now, one of the reasons I picked Threadless for this week is because they actually do have a Facebook shop. And I think if you've got people in a platform, if you can keep them there and transition them into making a purchase, it's easier than trying to get them to say, well, let's go and click somewhere else. Now, as usual, my page is really slow with things like this. I was doing this all afternoon as well, so bear with me a second. Ah, there we are. And that's gone. Alright, here we go. What I like about the Threadless shop is it combines the e-commerce with social sharing, which obviously is very key to them. You have 3 calls to action on here. Either you like it, click the like button, you can also post it to your wall, or, as they say, if you really love this, you can buy it. Now, when you go and add that to the cart, it actually takes you out of Facebook and takes you to the main Threadless website. And I think for a lot of people, they're going to feel more comfortable with that because they're going to feel that it's more secure than actually making a purchase in Threadless. So the next thing we're going to look at is like designs. Now, this is asking people who visit the page if they can actually score the designs, and you can click through and like or comment or post on your wall all about the designs. Now, the interesting thing that this does is it takes us to this stage, which is a leaderboard. Now, this is quite fun because you get to see the most popularly reviewed t-shirt designs, and also, which I think is quite sweet, the ones that haven't done quite so well. This really demonstrates the sort of inclusive nature of the business, and it means that everyone's got a fair chance of getting voted for. And what they've also done at the top here, they've really underlined how important it is to have the community interacting. Comment on and share these designs, or Threadless will poof off the face of the earth. So they're really trying to reaffirm that point. Looking now at the meetups, now this really shows some serious dedication. You've actually got people arranging events because they're Threadless fans. It really shows a real bit of commitment. Now, Meetups is a third-party application, and it's designed, to help people organise get-togethers. Now, if we look at some of the individual events, well, you've got some really interesting places here. Thread fans, they've got 9 people coming to this. Now, it doesn't sound like a lot, but they've actually initiated something called Threadless Day. They've got something booked in for Friday, which sounds quite nice. And so it may not sound like a lot of people, but you have to take into account these people are only bonded by their love of printed t-shirts. It really does show some real commitment. Okay, we're going to move a bit down. Now, you click down this more button. So people don't see this unless they click down. And as much as people don't like to scroll, they're not big on clicking to see more stuff. And that's a shame, because this is where we've got the support tab, support page. And what they have here, again, they've used a third-party application, and they've taken in their most commonly asked questions, and you can see how commonly asked they are to give you some answers. And they've also got their contact us page. And I think it would be nicer if this was further up the menu. It would indicate that that's more important to them, and also maybe a link on the info page to it would help. And then finally, well, just here we have next down is it looks like a sort of out of date welcome page. This isn't the welcome page that we get. We get taken straight to the wall. Now, I'm thinking this was probably done in the old coding system, FBML, and they've just not updated it. There is only really just a clear call to action. There's not any information. Now, I think if you don't know the business Threadless and you don't understand the concept of the voting for the designs, the community aspect of it, this page could actually be quite confusing. And again, I think a lot of brands forget that not everybody knows who they are, especially when they're quite, they are so big as Threadless. And then finally, what they've also utilised, and Facebook questions is becoming sort of more and more apparent. You'll sort of see it on your friend's wall and things. As you can see here, as we saw on the wall, the latest one is about the girl style t-shirts. So this is my overview of the Threadless campaigns. So what I'd really like to know is if any of you guys have some sort of opinions on, if we sort of suggested to Threadless what they could have on their landing page, what do you think would be good for them? I'm going to go back now to the main slides and see. See if Danny's been commenting away while I've been chatting. A small bio on the welcome tab that lets you know who they are would be cool, yeah. Actually as well, they've got nothing about their Twitter links, you're quite right. And the help stuff. Yeah, I think by actually giving more profile to customer service, I think that may actually save them a bit of time and effort, and it would, I think it would stop people making comments on the wall, as it were. However, they're so massive, maybe they don't care. Do you know, I honestly don't think many companies don't care. I think they don't always think as much about all the ways that people might find or be looking for customer service help. So, would you say that there's much that could be improved on the Threadless Facebook pages? I'm just going to get you a microphone instead of you tapping next to me, Danny. I mean, looking at that, would any of you consider actually starting your own Facebook shop? There's, I think, doesn't give you an entire idea of what you can do. This week I looked at Pavement and integrating a Facebook shop that way, where they actually manage all the payment systems for you as well. So you don't even have to set up a merchant account with a bank. And I found that really pretty simple. I'd like to see a successful Facebook shop. It's difficult because I don't think anyone's going to sort of sit there and tell me how much sales they're going to get out of this. They will. Maybe I'll have to do a hunt for some stats on, success rating, percentage of conversion rates. No, well, if you take the Pavement option, there's no cost involved. There's only the cost that you would pay to PayPal for that transaction fee. I think there's a time issue more than anything. If you're uploading like hundreds of items of stock, and it's not effective. Well, with the plums, the lingerie stuff, I'm actually putting on our key continuity products and seeing how that works, and probably only having about 10, 15 to see how it works. So as soon as I get some sort of feedback from that, I'll find out. There is a slight downside to actually having a Facebook shop, is not everyone in the universe is on Facebook. It seems like it sometimes, and you hear the stats that 600,000 people are on Facebook, but it means that people who are doing searches through Google, aren't necessarily going to find your shop there. So does anyone have any more questions that they'd like to ask? Well, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to remember for the first time to do the poll. Let's see, this is the first time I've done this, so bear with me. Right. Hopefully you can see that. And I'd love it if you could vote out of 5 what you think of the Threadless social media presence 5 is perfect. If my social media were this good, I would die a happy marketer. 4, pretty impressed. Really good. Just a couple of changes and it'd be perfect. 3 is, okay, there's a lot I can learn, but still there's a lot of unfulfilled potential. 4, meh, not particularly engaging or inspiring. And 1, seriously, I lost 30 minutes of my life discussing this. Just make sure Danny's voted. Okay, just going to wait a couple of seconds more, see if anyone else wants to vote. Okay. Great. Close voting. Let's see what happens now. Oh dear. Right, I'm not sure actually how to show you that to you. You seeing that? Okay. Basically, oh dear, someone really didn't like this. Is that you? Danny? Danny's not coming again. He's just a troublemaker. I'm voting for 1, seriously, I lost 30 of my life. However, I think we're pretty much evenly split, apart from Mr. Polycarpo, is that, it's quite good. There's some changes and, there is quite a lot we can learn from this. Yes, thank you, Neil, for the feedback about hitting him. She did. So, if you've got any more questions, let me know. You can always come and find me on my Facebook page, facebook.com/marketingmy. If you want any more information or you have any more questions to ask. But hopefully you enjoyed this. We'll be sending out the recording tomorrow. So hopefully you enjoyed, found it useful. And we will be... We're having technical dramas.